Contents. Volume 1. Cosmogenesis. Table of Contents. Volume 2. Anthropogenesis. Table of Contents. Entered according to Act of Congress in the year 1888, by H. P. Blavatsky. In the office of the Librarian of Congress at Washington, D.C. The Secret Doctrine Volume I. Copyright August 11, 2011 by Theosophy Trust. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be used or reproduced by any means graphic, electronic, or mechanical, including photocopying, recording, taping, or by any information storage retrieval system without the written permission of the publisher, except in the case of brief quotations embodied in critical articles and reviews. Theosophy Trust books may be ordered through Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, and other booksellers, or by visiting http://www.theosophytrust.org/online_books.php. ISBN 978-0-9832220-5-7. ISBN 0-9832220-5-3. Library of Congress Control Number 201-191-3377. Printed in the United States of America. This work I dedicate to all true theosophists, in every country, and of every race. For they called it forth, and for them it was recorded. Preface. The author, the writer, rather feels it necessary to apologize for the long delay which has occurred in the appearance of this work. It has been occasioned by ill health and the magnitude of the undertaking. Even the 2 volumes now issued do not complete the scheme, and these do not treat exhaustively of the subjects dealt with in them. A large quantity of material has already been prepared, dealing with the history of occultism as contained in the lives of the great adepts of the Aryan race, and showing the bearing of occult philosophy upon the conduct of life, as it is and as it ought to be. Should the present volumes meet with a favorable reception, no effort will be spared to carry out the scheme of the work in its entirety. The 3rd volume is entirely ready, the 4th almost so. This scheme, it must be added, was not in contemplation when the preparation of the work was first announced. As originally announced, it was intended that the Secret Doctrine should be an amended and enlarged version of Isis Unveiled. It was, however, soon found that the explanations which could be added to those already put before the world in the last named and other works dealing with esoteric science, were such as to require a different method of treatment, and consequently the present volumes do not contain, in all, 20 pages extracted from Isis Unveiled. The author does not feel it necessary to ask the indulgence of her readers and critics for the many defects of literary style, and the imperfect English which may be found in these pages. She is a foreigner, and her knowledge of the language was acquired late in life. The English tongue is employed because it offers the most widely diffused medium for conveying the truths which it had become her duty to place before the world. These truths are in no sense put forward as a revelation, nor does the author claim the position of a revealer of mystic lore, now made public for the first time in the world's history. For what is contained in this work is to be found scattered throughout thousands of volumes embodying the scriptures of the great Asiatic and early European religions, hidden under glyph and symbol, and hitherto left unnoticed because of this veil. What is now attempted is to gather the oldest tenets together and to make of them one harmonious and unbroken whole. The sole advantage which the writer has over her predecessors, is that she need not resort to personal speculations and theories. For this work is a partial statement of what she herself has been taught by more advanced students, supplemented, in a few details only, by the results of her own study and observation. The publication of many of the facts herein stated has been rendered necessary by the wild and fanciful speculations in which many theosophists and students of mysticism have indulged, during the last few years, in their endeavor to, as they imagined, work out a complete system of thought from the few facts previously communicated to them. It is needless to explain that this book is not the secret doctrine in its entirety, but a select number of fragments of its fundamental tenets, special attention being paid to some facts which have been seized upon by various writers, and distorted out of all resemblance to the truth. But it is perhaps desirable to state unequivocally that the teachings, however fragmentary and incomplete, contained in these volumes, belong neither to the Hindu, the Zoroastrian, the Chaldean, nor the Egyptian religion, neither to Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, nor Christianity exclusively. The secret doctrine is the essence of all these. Sprung from it in their origins, the various religious schemes are now made to merge back into their original element, out of which every mystery and dogma has grown, developed, and become materialist. It is more than probable that the book will be regarded by a large section of the public as a romance of the wildest kind, for who has ever even heard of the Book of Jinn? The writer, therefore, is fully prepared to take all the responsibility for what is contained in this work, and even to face the charge of having invented the whole of it. That it has many shortcomings she is fully aware. All that she claims for it is that, romantic as it may seem to many, its logical coherence and consistency entitle this new Genesis to rank, at any rate, on a level with the working hypotheses so freely accepted by modern science. Further, it claims consideration, not by reason of any appeal to dogmatic authority, but because it closely adheres to nature, and follows the laws of uniformity and analogy. The aim of this work may be thus stated: to show that nature is not a fortuitous concurrence of atoms, and to assign to man his rightful place in the scheme of the universe, to rescue from degradation the archaic truths which are the basis of all religions, and to uncover, to some extent, the fundamental unity from which they all spring. Finally, to show that the occult side of nature has never been approached by the science of modern civilization. If this is in any degree accomplished, the writer is content. It is written in the service of humanity, and by humanity and the future generations it must be judged. Its author recognizes no inferior court of appeal. Abuse she is accustomed to, calumny she is daily acquainted with, at slander she smiles in silent contempt. De minimis non curat lex. London, October, 1888. HPB. Volume 1, Table of Contents. Go to. Volume 2, Anthropogenesis. Table of Contents. Volume I. Cosmogenesis. Proem. The oldest manuscripts in the world and its symbolism. The One Life, Active and Passive. The Secret Doctrine, Pantheism, Atheism. Space in all religions and in occultism. 7 cosmic elements, 7 races of mankind. The 3 postulates of the Secret Doctrine. Description of the stanzas from the Book of Jinn. Book I, Part I. Cosmic Evolution. 7 stanzas from the Book of Jinn. Stanza I, The Night of the Universe. The 7 Eternities. Time. The Universal Mind and the Dhyan Kohans. Nidana and Maya, the causes of misery. The Great Breath. Being and non-being. The Eye of Dangma. Alaya, the Universal Soul. Stanza 2, the idea of differentiation. The Absolute knows itself not. The germ of life was not yet. The universe was still concealed in the divine thought. Stanza 3, the awakening of cosmos. The great vibration. Nature's symbols. The power of numbers. The Logoi and the dragon. The astral light. Primeval radiations from unity. The web of being. Conscious electricity, Fahad. Stanza 4, the septenary hierarchies. The sons of the fire. The vehicle of the universe, the Dhyan Kohans. The army of the voice. Speech and mind. The Ogdoad and the Heptad. The stellar sons of light. Stanza V, Fahad, the child of the septenary hierarchies. The fiery whirlwind and the primordial 7. They produce Fahad. The correlation of the gods. Evolution of the principles of nature. The mystery of the fire. The secret of the elements. The square of the tabernacle. The planetary spirits and the lepika. The ring pass not. The sidereal book of life. The soul's pilgrimage and its rest. Stanza 6, Our world, its growth and development. The logos. The mystery of the female logos. The 7 Laos centers. The evolution of the elements. The building of the worlds. A neutral center. Dead planets, the moon. Theosophical misconceptions. The planetary divisions and the human principles. The moon. Transmigrations of the ego. The septenary chain. Relation of the other planets to the earth. Explanations concerning the globes and the monads. The lunar chain and the earth chain. The earth, the child of the moon. Classification of the monads. The monad defined. The lunar monads, the pitris. A triple evolution in nature. Stanza 6, continued. Creation in the 4th round. The curse, sin, and war. The struggle for life and the birth of the worlds. The adepts and the sacred island. Stanza 7, Our world, its growth and development. Divisions of the hierarchies. Correlations of beings. What incarnates in animal man? Formation of man, the thinker. Occult and Kabbalistic pneumatics. Akasa and ether. The invisible lives. Occult vital chemistry and bacteriology. The watcher and his shadow. Earth peopled by the shadows of the gods.